Hi there, my name is Deidre Cheney, and this is my application activity for week 10 of my life skills class for the Pathways program through BYU, Idaho. I'm going to tell you about a job I've had, the blessings that came from it, and what I learned from that. So when I was in college, I was working doing data entry at a funeral home. And my job was to move files from a DOS program into a Windows program. And while I was doing that, the office manager quit without any notice. That was a good thing for me because they needed somebody immediately. So they moved me from my job into that position while they interviewed people. Contracts needed to be entered, items needed to be ordered, and my job was important but not as sensitive as at-need services. I did it for a couple of weeks and then I decided to apply for it because they were taking their time doing interviewing. So I applied for it, and while I waited for my interview, I was doing that job almost full-time and a little bit of my job when it wasn't busy. They did interviews for about 2 weeks, and by the time it was my time to interview and then the job was assigned to somebody, I had been doing it for 2 months, almost full-time, and they chose someone else to do the job. I was really upset. I thought that my opportunity to do the job, to get the job, would have been greater simply because they wouldn't have had to have trained me. Instead, they hired somebody right out of school who had more qualifications than me and then had me train her. This was somewhat of a slap in the face to me, but I wanted to keep my head up and put on a brave face, and I trained this girl for 2 weeks. And she was not getting it, and it was frustrating for me and it was frustrating for her, but we pushed through. About 2 more weeks after that, so a month of her on the job, still getting a lot of training from me, my boss pulled me into one of the arrangement rooms and offered me the job. I was surprised because this girl had spent many hours training and she was starting to get it. And what they had done was they moved her to a smaller location and they put me in the job, which I accepted because of my attitude. He said that I impressed him, that because even though the job wasn't going the way that I wanted it to, I cared about the company and I cared about the success of the company. And that made me feel really good. It taught me that I can fake it until I make it. I can do hard things that I don't want to for the better of other people. And it also helped me to learn lessons that I was able to teach to my children. I never brought this situation up specifically because it didn't actually cross my mind until I was given this assignment. But I learned a lot of valuable lessons while I was working for that funeral home under that management, which I didn't always agree with, but I cared enough about the people writing my check and the families that we were serving that I wanted them to have the best care they could get. And that was my activity, that was my job, that was my experience. Thanks for watching.